Hi everyone, this is Jen Denish, and I'm going to present to you the LJM Inclusive Playground Project. We will need to take an official vote on December 20th at 6:30 p.m. in the cafeteria on which playground company we are using. I'm going to go through and explain everything that we've done so far. Here is the current LJM playground. You can see there's a lot of climbing features. Here are steps. Here's a little climbing area. This is a big net. Over here, there's a little rock wall. This red bar used to have different climbing things that the kids could walk across. They've broken and since been removed. They were not able to be replaced. In the back, there was a spinning feature that was removed as well. We currently have mulch on our playground. Here is the location of the current playground. Our hope is to add a new playground over here in this yellow square. We have decided to change the location because this back area gets very muddy and it takes a long time to dry after a lot of rain. Why does LJM Elementary School need a new inclusive playground? LJM is a hub for special needs students in the Red Line Area School District. We have 5 autism support classes, 2 life skills classes, and a deaf hard of hearing class from the LIU. Our school serves students in surrounding districts such as Dallastown, Central, Spring Grove, Northeastern, and New York City. Those students are from the deaf and hard of hearing class. Our current playground does not have a wheelchair ramp. We do have students who use wheelchairs and they are not able to get on the current playground. Our current playground does not have sensory boards, an American Sign Language board, or communication board. We have mulch right now, not poured-in-place rubber, which makes it difficult to push a wheelchair. If you're not familiar with poured-in-place rubber is what Windsor Wonderland has and also over at Springettsbury Park. Students using a wheelchair cannot play on the current playground due to all those climbing features, which makes it not ADA compliant with those new guidelines. Why do we need this poured-in-place rubber surfacing? ADA, which is the American with Disabilities Act, set forth new guidelines on September 15th of 2010. LJM was built in 2009. So if the start date for construction is on or after March 15th of 2012, we have to abide by these new guidelines. Poured-in-place rubber requires less maintenance. We don't have to add mulch every year. We did have a conversation with Craig Slack, who's in charge of buildings and grounds in the district, and he does like the idea of poured-in-place rubber surfacing. We did discuss needing to have a route from the school to our playground so it is ADA compliant. That might be a concrete sidewalk or something. Here's what we have done so far. The LJM PTO started discussing this idea of a new inclusive playground during the 2022-2023 school year, and a playground committee was formed in February of 2023. The playground committee met with Travis Crow from River Valley Rec on March 8th. We also met with Kip Allison, who is the Windsor Township zoning officer, regarding zoning and guidelines on where we can place the new structure. And this is because there is a 30-year contract with the township and the Red Line Area School District on field use. There are 15 years left on that contract, so we cannot just place the playground anywhere we want on LJM property. But Kip Allison was able to pull up a map and was able to look and see here is exactly where new playgrounds can be built to follow that contract and the guidelines. We've sent letters and emails to businesses seeking sponsorship. I met with the Leo Club in March and April. I stay in contact with Tammy Grove just to get their support on this playground. I've also met with General Recreation, somebody from MRC, and someone from Playworld. We met with 5 excavation companies, 2 returned quotes. Emory J. Peters had the best quote. We've held several fundraisers specific to the playground. We've discussed possible grant opportunities. We attended the street fair, and we had submitted a National Neighborhood Promise Grant through Republic Services on October 18th, 2023. So this National Neighborhood Promise Grant through Republic Services is pretty big for us. This was through the landfill. It was by invitation only. We were invited back in September. The grant could be awarded $100,000 to $250,000. We submitted the grant on October 18th, 2023, and we will be informed in January or February if we have won. We asked for funds to be distributed in March and then June or July. So we would need to be able to order the equipment in March in order for it to be here in time for a June or July build. We did ask for volunteers to possibly help build the playground. Here is the sponsorship letter that's been shared with different companies and families. Here are companies within the community that support our playground project and have already become a sponsor. So these companies will have their names posted on a plaque somewhere near the playground after it's been built. If you know anybody who would like to be a sponsor, let us know. Many families and staff at LJM support a new inclusive playground as well as community members. We did get letters of endorsement from somebody from the Windsor Township office, from Nicole Persing, who's the supervisor of special ed. Heather Vincent is a parent, and Heather Jones is an LJM teacher. The first company I'm going to talk to you about is River Valley Recreation. River Valley Recreation is local. They're located in Wrightsville. They use playcraft equipment. The design includes the shade structures. They had the cheapest quote. Travis was very quick on response time with any questions that I had. His design also included that wheelchair ramp, sensory boards, American Sign Language board, and a communication board. The bid did include the port-in-place cost. This is the first playground I'm going to talk to you about. This would be for the inclusive playground. Here is River Valley Recreation's design for an inclusive playground. You can see here there's a wheelchair ramp. It leads up to a hexagonal shaped deck. There are different sensory board features. Children can go up and play with the student if they're in a wheelchair. There's a tic-tac-toe board on the one side. There's also slides here. There's other climbing features. There's an area where kids can sit underneath here. The max fall height is 5 feet and the child capacity is 93. Their design also included these 2 freestanding structures or features, which would be the American Sign Language board here for the students in the deaf and hard of hearing class. And then on the back of that would be the communication board for nonverbal students. And here's a little xylophone. And then this is the inclusive spinner. Here is River Valley Rec's inclusive bid. You can see that it does include the port-in-place safety surfacing, which is expensive. It's cost, just as much as the equipment itself here, but it is important, I think, that we have. So the total cost was $150,745. We did ask the landfill with our grant for $203,000. If we were to get that money, then we would have extra funds left over to build a second playground over here, which is in front of the swings. This second playground is not inclusive, but it's geared towards the older students because it has more jungle gym climbing features. This is what it would look like. It does include the port-in-place rubber here. The max fall height is 10 feet. Child capacity is 75. So like I said, this is not inclusive, but it is geared towards the older students. And the bid for that feature is right here. close to $74,000. But it does include your port and play safety surfacing. Bob Peters sent us a bid for both of those playground features. He sent us 2 quotes. So if we were only able to get the funds to build the inclusive playground, it would be the first quote he has listed here, and he did say that he would honor those quotes. Here's the total bid for River Valley Rec. It includes that inclusive playground, and then it includes that Revolution playground. You can see down here the total grant amount requested was just over $203,000 from the landfill. We subtracted our current funds that we had in our savings account, which is for the playground. Here is the warranty for the Playcraft. Here's the warranty for the port and place rubber. There's a 5-year warranty. River Valley Recreation would install that for us, and then we would get an extra warranty coverage from them. Port and play surfacing lasts typically 10 to 15 years. What we would try to do is we would try to have fundraisers every year. That way, down the road, eventually when it does need to be replaced, we would have all of the necessary funds to be able to replace it. The second playground company is MRC Recreation. So they are located in New Jersey. They use game time equipment. Their design did not include shade structures for the playground. They weren't as responsive with emails. The design did include sensory boards and a communication board, and then in the bid as well. But the bid did not include that port in place cost. So we would have to find somebody and outsource for that port in place rubber installation. So here is the location of the first playground that MRC sent a design for. This would be, again, where the inclusive playground is going. Here's their inclusive playground design. You can see how it has some sensory board features right here. Over here is little musical items. The thing that I'm not crazy about is that it has lots of climbing features. You can see again, but it does not have a wheelchair ramp. So it doesn't make it fully inclusive. There's also no shade structures located on this playground. Here is the total cost for that playground. It does include, you can see a merry-go-ball, a sitting seesaw, a communication board. But those were not on the design for us to actually see. And it does not include the port in place rubber quote. The second playground from MRC, same location as what we had talked about with River Valley Rec in front of those swings. It would be geared towards the older kids. It would not be inclusive. Here is what it looks like. Lots of climbing and jungle gym features for that. So the total bid, I know it's a little bit blurry right here, but the total bid for that first inclusive design and then the second one here is called that hot lava. It is just over $166,000, close to $167,000. So again, here are the 2 locations of the playground. The yellow one is what we would like to be for the inclusive playground. The one over here, if we have enough funds from the grant, if we do get that grant, we could build a second playground over here at this blue square in front of the swings that's geared towards the older students. Here are our future plans. We are going to continue to fundraise. We just had Lego Bingo, which went very well. We are going to have a dance-a-thon in February, yard sale in June, and more food trucks over the summer. We will continue to send out playground newsletters to keep you up to date, post on social media, stay in contact with the Leo Club. We will seek out more sponsors. We will ask for volunteers to help build the playground if the funds have been raised for a summer 2024 build. Like I said earlier, we did ask the landfill for 4 to 8 volunteers. But if they cannot send volunteers, then we will need to find volunteers. The LJM PTO is going to donate an extra $2,500 from the checking account in June, which would go over to our savings account, which is designated for the playground fund. We will continue to request donations from families, having out a little donation jar during the Winter Wonderland, movie nights, book bingo, any other things we have. We're going to vote on which playground company to use on December 20th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. in the cafeteria. This is very, very important because we need to then send our playground design that we have chosen to Tanya Wheeler, who is the CFO for the school district, which has to be approved by our insurance company. And then I will go and present at a school board meeting for final approval. So once again, we are voting on either the River Valley Recreation inclusive design, or if you like the MRC inclusive design. That's our main focus, is getting an inclusive playground. If you have any questions, just let me know.